What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Commissioner We Have a Problem. Today we have our newest member picking up the pieces of our former member Harlan's team. Wes with us. We're going to kind of get to know him a little bit and welcome him to the league. But thanks for coming. Thanks for joining. And I guess thanks for joining our league as well.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, honestly, when we lost a member, I was like, this is like trying to adopt someone. I mean, literally, you think of a Dynasty league, I think of a lifelong commitment. And so, you know, you and I go way back. So I was like, he's the right fit. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I'm glad. So far, so good. I'll say that for sure through our communications. But I'm excited to get to know you better and hear more about you because I really don't know you at all. Besides a little bit of redraft fantasy football, which that's like dating. Like,
yeah,
this is way different.
This is the real deal. And I assume that whole like adoption process was literally just like, what's the most gullible kid we can find to take over this team?
Yeah, absolutely. That was question number one we asked.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm that dumb and confident. I'll do this.
But that's also how we got Justin to join this league. So we figured it was a good formula.
Actually, you guys were tired of losing to me in redraft, so you just converted to Dynasty so you could watch me trip on my own mistakes. That's what it was.
Yeah, you and your one-time winning.
Yeah, well, 2 if you count the first season of this one, you know.
I don't. Actually, I do count it.
There you go. All right, well, Wes, I think a lot of people in the league, you know, don't know you well or at all potentially, so let's just open up by hearing more about you as a person. We'll save fantasy for later. So just how do you know these guys? How'd you get involved? What's your experience with fantasy football? And, yeah, just more about you.
Yeah, I go way back with some of these people. I mean, Logan and I go back to, 2001, I think? You joined in first grade, right? Is that?
No, I was
You were a kindergartner? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we've been rivals since
right?
kindergarten.
Yeah.
Ever since Logan was put in the reading frog group and I was put in the remedial reading group, I just I had a rivalry born, and it's been going on ever since. I just really enjoy it. It's 25 years now at least or something like that.
Yeah, I think that. Well, is that? Yeah, that adds up. I think.
Yeah,
that's about. Yeah.
Yeah, we're that old, Logan.
Yeah, I know. It's the still setting standards.
Yeah, so fair amount of the guys from Faith. I played football with like Logan and Josh, played baseball with the Zacks and Blake. So just knew a bunch of those guys from high school. And then I was the lone weirdo that went to Texas from our school. Most people don't go to Texas.
Were you the only one from our grade that went to Texas?
Me and Jason Picciano. I don't know if yeah.
That's crazy that y'all were the only two.
Yeah, there's usually like one or zero, maybe 2 people that go every year from our faith school to Texas. So decided to take the road less traveled, but really enjoyed my experience there. I met my wife there when I was a senior. We started dating, and then I started working at EY, one of the big 4 firms. I do forensics, specializing really in computer forensics. So been there about 8 years now. I'm now like middle management, so really enjoy my time there. It's a interesting like consulting gig, so just that's why I have a little bit more of a professional background that Logan was commenting on. But I'm not like just this weird neat freak weirdo that my background might suggest.
It's very nice. It's very pleasant.
Thank you.
The plant's calming, actually.
It tries to create like an aura of like a little bit of professionalism, but also like calming while also not being like too messy and minimalist.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, Logan didn't get that memo for backgrounds. I think he was going for how can I show off my nerdiness and irrational love of Dallas sports all in one.
I've got a plant, though. Look at my plant.
It's behind a bunch of fears. Honestly, frankly, it gives me a lot of anxiety.
Oh, you mean your Lego plant?
Yeah, look at my cool plant. It's a bird of paradise. It's very classy.
Oh, man.
Very much so.
You're lucky you're married, you know? Otherwise, we could give you so many more jokes.
I know. I'm blessed.
I'm just surprised your wife let you have that room, honestly. That's the most surprising thing.
It's my office.
How many kids would you have to lose that? Or you just get a bigger house?
The plan is to get a bigger house before I have to lose my office. This is where I work. I work remote. I need an office. Hey, this isn't about me, okay?
Yeah. Yeah, shut up.
Yeah,
so anyway, back to me. But no, so biggest life update is that my wife and I just welcomed our first baby in 6 months ago, so in November. So I actually joined the league right at the right time. I was right in the smack dab in the middle of my parental leave. I had a nice, cool 19 weeks off, so I just had a lot of time to delve in and create my own formulas and spreadsheets for how I value my own players and teams. Because I don't know, I think you both of y'all did this, but I would say about half the league immediately sent me like one of the worst trades, like an appalling trade that like if I accepted, just to see if I would just click accept by accident or have no idea what a first round draft pick was worth. So my first, like, whenever I started receiving trades, I was like, ooh, I need to start learning exactly what these draft picks are worth. So when watch a lot of YouTube videos, went online and did a lot of research, so sort of try to build my own methodologies there. So I do a little bit of data analytics on for my work, so it kind of scratched that itch while I was on parental leave. But
this guy loves his ADP charts.
Oh yeah,
Won't stop talking about him.
Absolutely. I'm a spreadsheets guy. Love my spreadsheets. That's what I do.
Okay. Yeah. Do you like update them with each highlight that Sleeper puts out too?
You know, I haven't updated in a little while. I probably need to do that because it definitely needs to be updated post-draft for sure.
Yeah. Oh, it hasn't even been updated.
Yeah.
Sleeper has populated, what is it called? Predictions? I forgot the word. What do they call them? Why can't I not think of the word?
Rankings?
No. Points. You can see
projections.
Projections. That's the
okay.
word.
That's a hard one.
Well, you did not give us a lot of context there to even get what you were getting at.
I felt really dumb because I couldn't remember the word because it's a word I probably mention 100 times a week in the middle of the season. So
you're supposed to set your lineup purely on who has the lowest projection, right?
Well, it turns out it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you start. They will score more points on your bench.
Oh, that's your team. That's right.
Yeah. Well, no, you helped me clean that up a little bit, but
he had some down weeks, you know.
Yeah, and before we just talk about my awful team that I currently own and inherited, I would just like to say that I did win our redraft league last year. Blake made immense fun of me at our draft for drafting Christian McCaffrey #1 overall. Absolutely carried my team to the championship. So I just wanted to say shout out to all my haters out there.
And Wesley had been a high performer in that league for a long time, and he finally was able to do it. I think he and I had the same amount of seconds. Unfortunately, now he has one more first than me, but he battled to win for a long time, and he finally did it. So that's why we're like, okay, we'll invite him to the league now because he finally proved himself.
Still wondering how you proved yourself.
How did I knew the guy who's a commissioner.
Oh. Well, Commissioner, we do have a problem, so that's definitely a theme of this show. Well, Wes, thanks for sharing a little bit about you. I did want to.
Didn't you say you have like one more update?
Did I? Wait, what did I say?
You asked me before if I wanted to know it, and
that was just about us being rivals, going back the longest of times.
Okay.
For those of you that don't know, Logan and I, for 4 years of our high school, were battling out for valedictorian and salutatorian race for who was going to be first and second. And Logan did pull away by our senior year.
That's true. But if I remember correctly, didn't you get third?
I did end up coming third because the girl who was in third cheated her way the final semester. She never got caught for it, and she should feel really bad about it. But, that's neither here nor there. I'm not harboring any ill will because at the end of the day, it didn't end up matter. But my speech would have been absolutely hilarious, and I'm just the community was really robbed of that more than I was robbed of salutatorian. The community was robbed of my speech.
It would have been really fun if we could have both given speeches.
Yeah. I really had a lot of that was in my peak Will Ferrell days, so it was basically just going. I considered just being Will Ferrell up on stage. I'm not sure how that would have gone over with the faith crowd, but really wanted to do that because at that point, you're done, you got your degree. I mean, what else are they gonna do? Take it away?
Jeez, speeches, degrees, all for high school. I didn't have any of that.
You didn't go to high school?
I got a diploma. I didn't get a degree. But
oh my goodness!
I guess degrees in high school get you into UT, which is funny that you like UT. We have a semi-UT fan, but let's be honest, his fandom is weak. Talking about Christian.
I love talking trash about Christian sports fandom.
I hope he listens to this and just realizes that it's true, and then he can't defend himself.
I was really under the assumption that I was joining a league with all Aggies, to be honest. So I'm glad that there's at least one other UT brethren, whether it's legitimate or just growing up in Austin. I'll take any fandom I can get.
Christian, if you're listening to this, text me and let me know if you're still a Nuggets fan.
And if he's still rooting for the Mavs somehow, which I don't get.
He says he doesn't mind Mavs fans, so I'll take that.
Whatever.
He talks enough Cowboys trash, so I'll take what I can get there, I guess.
Yeah. Awesome. So Wes, 6-month-old baby. How long you been married?
Been married. Oh, so this is also another little bit of an interesting story. But our original wedding date was April 3rd, 2020. So
fun.
3 weeks before our wedding, we canceled it. We got married in San Diego, and we were planning that the whole time.
No kidding.
We got married on Kona Kai on Shelter Island. I don't know if you're familiar with that at all.
Yeah, I just went there last week.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, we got married on that beach, so that was we just went there on a vacation. We were like, this is the place where we want to get married. But it ended up being a year and a half after our original date, but they were very gracious in letting us still have it there and saving all of our cash. So I've been married now, hold on, dad brain, almost 3 years. 3 years in August. Yeah, that's 3 years. So, but we've been dating since 2015, so we've known each other for quite a significant amount of time. It was time to start having kids if we wanted to, I guess. So we did it. And then, things just happen. It's crazy. They just let you take a baby home from the hospital. So dealt with that like reality for a little while. But everything's going well. He's healthy. He's awesome. Love my little guy. So his name's
what's
Miles.
his name?
Miles. Yeah.
I like the name Miles. We're for ours, and my wife doesn't, so it's off the table. So we're not naming Miles.
She's a school teacher, so she has basically a lot of students that like she would never name a kid after because they were like so awful and mean.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
And I work with a lot of attorneys, so there's also a lot of names that I will cross out because I hate the attorneys that I work with. No, I don't. I don't really hate the attorneys, but there's a couple names that I'm like, maybe I wouldn't.
Good save.
Yeah.
Good save.
In case any of them ever randomly hear this podcast. No, I'm not name dropping anyone.
Yeah, I am trying to figure out who's like our 9th and 10th listener. If me and Logan don't listen to it, and the person who is on the podcast doesn't listen to it, that means we should only have 9 listeners. But some of them have like 10 plus. So I'm like, who are we reaching out there?
Dude, we're blowing up.
Blowing up.
Give us a review, whoever you are. Just let us know.
I'm gonna maybe this is a week that I'll drop this in some of the fantasy football discords I'm in. Be like, hey, I know y'all need another podcast about dudes talking about their fantasy league, so I've got it for you.
Wait, so Logan has these fantasy football advisors that he goes to for trades. Is this just like a random Discord channel that you're like, does this make sense to y'all?
No, my advisors are my friends that aren't in the league. I've got advisors. They have their leagues, and I go to them when I need help.
Does Wesley know Brad?
No.
Oh, because he's strictly A&M. I see.
Yeah.
Wasn't a faith graduate with a degree in high school.
Our high school did play his high school in high school. But
wait, where did he go?
All Saints, Tyler All Saints.
I don't think we ever played Tyler All Saints.
Football we didn't. I think basketball did.
Okay.
Enough about the past, though. Actually, we do need to talk about the past.
Yeah,
so
we do. I'm excited about this part.
Yeah.
Great
segue. Little history lesson.
It really is. And we got to dig into this because, just to rewind a little bit, last season we had a league mate, Harlan, rest in peace, Dynasty-wise. You're still alive.
I love you, Harlan.
Yeah, we do miss you. I remember you and I, year one, neck and neck. Anyway. Harlan left the league. We had to figure out what to do next, and ultimately we went to replace the team. So that means there's an orphan, and here you come in. You had some glowing recommendations. I'd played with you a couple times. You're competitive, which is what we need. And so you're like, you got the vote of confidence. You're in. Now, tell us.
You're you're involved in the chat too. That's another big plus. We like when people are involved. We love Corey, but we'd like a little bit more chat out of him. One day we're gonna have him on this show, and we're gonna request it more.
And we have stats on that too. We have stats on chat messages sent, so you will get an update. And if you're not hitting your quota, you'll hear it from me.
Do you have these metrics live, or is this to come?
I can pull them up while you're sharing. But I want to hear, when you were pitched the idea of joining this team, how did Logan spin it? I'm assuming it came from Logan, yeah?
Logan said, because my first thought was, I'm absolutely interested in Dynasty, but like, surely if someone's quitting, I'm taking over like the most garbage team. And he said, no, you're taking over the second most garbage team. And I was like, okay, well, tell me a little bit more. He's like, well, the bad news is that you don't have any of your next 2 first-round picks. And the good news is that you've got like 5 second-round picks that are incredibly valuable. You could have gotten Puka Nacua last year with a second-round pick. And it's like, yeah, you also could have gotten him with a third-round pick if like you had ever heard of him going into your draft.
Got him off waivers?
Waivers, yeah, right. Like everyone.
And traded him away.
It's about Wes.
So yeah, that was the pitch of just like, welcome to the team, or here's your team. Are you interested? And I was like, I think I am, but I definitely would not like to pay an entry league fee this year because that's at least for 1 year as I try to rebuild an absolutely terrible roster. Feels like a bad investment, honestly, if you start paying with that up front. So I think that's when y'all implemented the league rule of if you quit, you gotta pay next year's fee.
Yeah, it's something we'd always talked about, but we never actually done it. But that forced us to have a long, and I mean long, emotional conversation of a league policy. And I know Blake made the comment that I like put like the copyrighted algorithm, like he wasn't completely wrong. There's some numbers and there's stats around how to do it, but we came up with that after Harlan decided to leave, and he was gracious enough to honor that policy, even though we didn't put it into place until after he left. So I know I'm grateful for it. And I'm sure you are as well. And this is my tribute to Harlan.
Yeah.
Thanks Harlan.
Thanks for 1 more year.
What a guy.
I basically figured, I won't be competitive next year either, so it'll be my, first payment in, and Logan knows I'm always good for it. He never has to chase me for anything.
It's true. I'm pretty sure you're like the one person on our redraft league that would always pay before the season, even though I didn't collect money till afterward. But you always put your money in.
It's just one of those. It's good to have that extra splash of cash coming back instead of after the horse has already been shot after the race that lost.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, taking a look at your team, we'll pull it up here in just a second. I'll share screens. You walked into a team, not much hope, and we'll talk about some of the reasons why that is. But I want to hear how you came up with the name of your team, which I love, by the way. You know what it is right now, yeah?
Oh, yeah, Turd Sandwich.
Turd Sandwich. Is that how you feel about the roster?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we're in election year, so it's the time to pick between a giant douche and a turd sandwich. I don't know if anyone gets that reference, but it's a South Park thing. They have to choose between a school mascot, and those are their 2 options. So I just vibed a little bit more with the turd sandwich, and it's got a great logo as well. It's just a sandwich with a giant turd in it. And yes, that is how my team. That is how I feel about my team. If I'm ever great someday, I will no longer be turd sandwich. I'll come up with something better. Logan knows and I think Justin, at least you know a couple of them, but I've had some pretty good names in the past for team names before.
I'm trying to think.
What was your redraft team name last year?
Oh boy, I can't even remember now at this point.
Run CMC.
Again, this is
Classic.
before I had a baby. I named my team before I had a baby, so this is not something that my memory's gonna come up with very well.
Wait, Justin, I know Wesley wasn't the owner, but I still think we should give a synopsis of the seasons leading up to. Like we need to go over the team.
Like I want to hear about this team. I want to see the draft of my team and the trades.
Yeah. Okay.
I need to know a little history.
Just because the Rams moved to LA doesn't mean we forget about when they were in St. Louis.
We do. Torrey Holt, he was the only good thing that was happened.
Sam Bradford, dude.
All right, good idea. We'll rewind way back 2021. I don't even think Wesley was married yet. Maybe.
Right at that time.
Harlan was the owner of this team at the time, and here's a look at his startup draft. Yeah, just take a peek here. I'll let you take it in. Some of these players still on your team, most not. Should give you an idea of all the
how good they are.
How great they are.
I don't know what round it is.
Wide receivers are great.
Yeah. I can see how this team was good for a little while. I mean, great value with Amon-Ra there.
14th round, yeah.
And then Tyreek's held his value for sure.
He really has. I don't remember when he got traded, so I'll be interested to hear how that trade panned out.
Ooh, James Robinson. This must have been like training camp hype because I don't remember him or after his one good year.
Yeah, this was his second year, I believe.
Man, he fell off a cliff. But
was this Kyler's really big year too? Because is he he's not the first quarterback drafted there, is he? But
no,
he
was.
Yeah, this was season 3 for him, so he'd been in the league a couple years already.
This was his big season that he had, so he probably had a lot of big value right at this time.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, there's a little peek. Like I said, some of these guys still on your team, some not. Najee Harris is still there. I think you got Old Man Waller, Kyler Murray.
Old Man Waller. Hey, Old Man Waller, I'm hyped about Waller this year. I'm legitimately excited. He's post-divorce. He's probably got some alimony payments to make. His wife's posting thirst traps online. I mean, he's got something to prove.
I think he's gonna be down bad after that divorce.
Yeah,
so.
It's gonna be hard. Well, back in 2021, you made it to the finals, or your team, I should say. That team that you're hating on made it all the way to the finals. And this is deceiving because we had a 2-week matchup. So week 16 and 17 combined were that league's championship. So here's me on the left. If you ain't first, you're last. And let me tell you, I came in first. But Harlan's team at the time, gave up a good fight. So what was it, 127-96? And I guess in the aggregate score, I end up coming ahead by 10-ish points. So second place. That was how Harlan's team did back in 2021. So that probably didn't give you much good draft picks that year. So let's fast forward. 2022, see what he ended up having for his picks if he didn't trade him away. And sure enough, looks like he traded some of them away. I do remember this, actually. So I had just won. So my pick belonged to someone else because I mortgaged my future. But I wanted to get back in the first round. So I actually traded up to get Harlan's first round pick. And I remember this trade because I needed a tight end. I had Travis Kelce, who, he's just not that good. So I was like, I need a better guy. So I traded him a first and a second. I traded him a 2023 first, so a year ahead of this time, and a second to get 111, which I took George Pickens with, and David Njoku. So, would I do that trade again? Would I have kept George Pickens? No, because I got CeeDee Lamb. Would I have kept CeeDee Lamb? Yeah, that's a whole ripple, though. This is about you.
Yeah.
So, with those picks, it looks like Harlan went for a couple updates here with Wan'Dale, Jalen Tolbert, and Isaiah
R.I.P.
Still got hype for him,
Isaiah's been good when he's played. He just is always behind Mark Andrews.
Yeah, that's hard. That's like Michael Mayer. He's a great player. He's just never going to see the field anymore.
I had a lot of hype for Jalen Tolbert. It's sad to see his career not pan out as a Cowboys fan.
Yikes.
Quite unfortunate.
Yikes. So, looking at the regular season for 2022, year 2 of the league, keep in mind Harlan had just come in second place, so his roster was, in theory, still good. He came in 6th, so he squeaked into playoffs, much to my dismay. Super Team 2025 was me just missing again. And, Logan, do you remember how he fared in the playoffs?
He lost to Christian.
Here we go. So it looks like he lost to Christian in the first round, and that put him in the 5th and 6th place. And it looks like he got 5th place based on this. So,
well, yeah, the 5th place would have been based off points for. So when you lose in the first round, your play style. You don't play out for the fifth play because there's nothing to play for. So
we hadn't implemented that at that point, or maybe we did.
Well, no. That's how it is today.
Oh, okay. I see. Anyway, not much difference there. Let's see what he had to work with when it comes to his picks for the 2023 season. Here he is, Harlan. He had pick 108 had he not traded it. However, it looks like he had some trade movement. And let's pause there, actually, and go take a peek at the trade tracker and go way back, all right? So if we go back to 2021, not much movement from Harlan. Looks like he sent Elijah Moore for a third-round pick. And after seeing how much Elijah Moore has impressed, not bad value. Not bad.
He's still on my team. Somehow I got him back.
He had hope. I don't know if there's much left anymore, but hey,
I don't think so.
For you to find out. During the 2022 season, I mentioned that pick there, me wanting to get back in the first round. So it looks like we had a pre-draft trade here. I sent my first and second for 23 to get his 2022 pick 1 in David Njoku. No regrets, maybe some. He also made some big ones at the end of the season. Yeah. So he and Blake, I don't know, it was like an arms race towards the end of the season. Josh too. Logan, do you remember this?
Wait, what do you mean? It was an arms race between Levy and Blake.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Harlan was the middleman. He was wheeling and dealing to both teams. So if you recall, Harlan's startup draft, he had Tyreek Hill. That was his first pick in the startup draft. Obviously a great player. He ended up getting a haul for Tyreek. So he sent Tyreek and some scrubs for a 25 first-round pick. Still hasn't seen that. Jeez. Amari Cooper, Odell Beckham, Dalton Schultz, and a third. Honestly, Tyreek side wins that trade by a landslide. Jeez.
Yeah.
I think
Odell was that pick. Okay. I was curious. I was like, am I still even holding on to that pick?
Did Odell
Dalton
do
Schultz,
anything in the past 3 years?
Dalton Schultz did have Dalton Schultz had a really good year that year.
Yeah. And he had a good year last year.
He's fine. He's just not Tyreek Hill worthy of a trade.
No.
Yeah.
So,
the only way that trade pans out is if Josh's team is the worst team this year, which I'm not holding my breath for.
Yeah.
He's going to be the worst team in 2026.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak ill will of anyone's team here.
I hope your team is the worst team this year.
Okay.
But I think there's a silver lining to that trade. He got Amari Cooper in that trade. Amari Cooper was going bonkers, and he still does it somehow. I don't get it. He sent Amari Cooper to Blake, who, mind you, was battling for Levy.
I mean, yeah, Amari Cooper kind of won Blake the championship in a few ways.
Yeah. But he did pay for it. So Blake sent a 23 first, 23 second, and a 24 second. So 1 first and 2 seconds for Amari Cooper, who was he was probably 29 at the time. So he's getting up there in age. You could argue he got more for Amari Cooper than he got for Tyreek Hill, which is crazy.
That is
I don't know.
Crazy.
I mean, he got a first and Amari Cooper, basically. I guess Dalton Schultz. Okay,
but he was only able to get that because of Tyreek Hill. So he kind of got like 2 firsts and 2 seconds for Tyreek.
Yeah, but it saved him. You know, if he had just done the Tyreek Hill trade and nothing else, I'd have been really bummed as someone who saw that. But he turned it around a little bit.
He knew what he wanted in the long run, and he was just stocking up. You know.
Yeah. Okay, so it's time now to get into last season, 2023. Let's take a look at what he had. So he finished his 2022 season. He got 5th place. He would have had 108, but it looks like that pick was traded. He had a couple others. He had a late first, which he got Jonathan Mingo with. That's TBD there.
Well, that pick I feel like you need to talk about why that pick was traded.
Oh,
you're going to do that afterward.
That's right. We can circle over there in a minute. But, yeah, it looks like he got Mingo, okay, Josh Downs, and Marvin Mims. But I think there is some context, as Logan alluded to, that really changed how this league went last year in particular. So, scooting back over to Trade Tracker, you should see some familiar colors based on how I rank trades. And this one, in my opinion, is the second most lopsided trade in the league. I think I have pick for number 1. But this is a close second. I don't know. What do you think, Logan?
Yeah, it's 2 or 3.
Yeah.
For sure.
So the trade is...
It's not great.
Yeah, you guys can see it here. Josh Allen was on Logan's team. Joshy Boy, that was his nickname.
Oh, yeah.
QB 1 or 2 for like
Josh
the past
Allen.
3 seasons. I mean, he's been great. Nothing short of fantastic. For fantasy, at least. I mean, he's pretty good in real life. He's done well.
He won me my league last year. Him and Christian McCaffrey. Loved him. It really hurt to trade him away.
But here it is. He has 4 first-round picks due to Josh Allen. So, just for clarity, Harlan had 4 first-round picks that he sent to Logan for Josh Allen. And then he changed his team name to All In with Allen. So I'm like, wow, Harlan's really going for it. Is it an overpay? Yes. By every measure, we're in a single QB league. I don't think any quarterback should be worth more than 2, personally. However, it is what it is. So that explains why Harlan was so devoid of picks, particularly because he sent 2 from 2023. So he would have had, a stab at some of last year's rookies, but no, he wanted Josh Allen.
That does remind me, which is ironic. My redraft fantasy team name was All in the Hips because I had Allen the Hips. It was Josh Allen dancing like Rihanna was the gif of my team.
Nice. Do GIFs actually work when it comes to...
In ESPN, they do.
Oh, they do. Man. Come on, Sleeper, pick it up. Anyway, looks like he made another trade later in the season. Actually, I think it was a day later. He sent a second, third, and second for a second. Maybe an overpay again. I can't remember. It looks like he got Josh Downs or Marvin Mims, so he must have been high on one of those guys. That was the Zach. Zach, man, just loading up with picks. But, hey, when you're perennially 8th place, that's all you get is picks. So let's go take a look at how the season panned out after that crazy trade. We saw his draft picks. And then here's where it gets a little sad. And hence, I don't know. Did Harlan ever mention, I left because of this? Or do you think it was just a multitude of things?
No, I think what he kind of said is he wanted to... He was basically trying to go for it, wanted to play big to try to make something happen. And because he wasn't... I don't think he knew if he was going to be his last year at the start of the season, but I think he went all in and tried to, and ultimately just I think Dynasty's not for me. He didn't go all in because he's it's my last year, let's just bomb it. I think he was trying to make something happen and then started to realize, in third year, Dynasty wasn't for him. And that he even said, he didn't take any trade offers because he's he kind of decided, I think midway through he said that he wasn't going to be in the league anymore. So he's I don't want to make any trades now that I've decided this. And he didn't say that mid-league. He said it afterward, but he kind of just stopped taking any trade offers and didn't want to make any trades because he decided it was his last year. And then let us know at the end of the season, all of that.
That's very honorable. I appreciate that. If he tried to make a couple trades to go all in even more, I'm not sure that this team would have been salvageable at all, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kept on to a few key pieces.
Yeah, and the funniest thing is that Logan said that he had to think about the trade when he got it, and I'm that's the most shocking thing is that you had any indecision whatsoever. That had to have just been paralysis by analysis because that's got to be the easiest. Except yes, now please don't let this get vetoed sort of trade.
Well, I mean, with that trade, I was also I thought I was mortgaging my present. Because it's I made draft guys, but they might not develop for a few years. So it's I may not be competitive until obviously I had other opportunities to make trades, and then it kind of changed the course of things. But I was just I'm basically giving up on this season, and I'm tanking if I make this trade. But ultimately didn't lead to that. But we've heard that story.
Yeah. Again, I still think the trade even looks bad in a super flex league where Josh Allen is the number one asset in a one quarterback. It's really not great.
Yeah.
Although I will say in a super flex league, if you're just loaded with draft picks and you're making a push to win it all, it could be a real desperate play there. But yeah, still not great in a super flex.
Yeah. So that's probably the one in hindsight I wish we would have vetoed. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying I think it would have. I don't know. I think everyone has a different.
I wouldn't have vetoed it.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, thanks, Logan.
I know vetoing in fantasy football has a very, polarizing thing, but that's one that in hindsight I'm like,
sorry, I don't want censorship.
That's tough, especially when the commissioner's involved. Then it's like, collusion. What?
I only veto for collusion.
Oh wait. What's this team name here? I see.
Yeah, if I'm involved in collusion, I'm the worst colluder there ever was.
Yeah. Anyway, so looking at last season, here's the standings 1 through 10. All in with Allen is not on there, so we have to scroll a little further. Mr. Allen got 12th place. So I think that's
was
where
the worst team in the league.
It absolutely was.
Well, by record, not by max points for.
By record,
or even points for. I think his points for was higher as well.
That sounds like winning the popular vote versus the electoral college. Some shenanigans.
But that changes your draft. Like he didn't have the number 1 overall pick. He had the number 2.
Well, I didn't have it at all, so it was moot.
Well, yeah. What if he was the worst team in the league? Then I would have been drafting Marvin Harrison Jr. this year, and I'm not. So.
You also traded away that pick too, because I also asked if Logan, when I entered the league, if Logan would offer to take Allen back for the draft picks that had not been yet selected, and he said that he had already traded them all away, so he couldn't do that. And I was like, there went that ship.
But when I traded that one away, it was clear who the number 1 overall pick was going to be, and it wasn't going to be Harlan's pick.
Dun, dun, dun. So yeah. That's how 2023 ended. Harlan's team finishing in 12th. You can kind of see his farewell over here. Like I said, I'm happy that Harlan, ended up going out, leaving dues paid forward for his team. I think that was a good thing to start as a precedent for anyone that needs to do this in the future. And we wish Harlan the best. But here comes Wes. So Wes. Let's talk about what you're most looking forward to in 2024. Let's see what you're working with in terms of assets, and then let's just talk fantasy.
Yeah, what am I most excited for? I obviously with so many draft picks, I was excited for the draft. Watched it even more intently than I normally do. Usually just watch draft? It for the actual NFL draft. Usually just watch it for Cowboys' sake. I am a Cowboys fan, unfortunately, but. Yeah, I was actually watching for the first few picks, seeing where they landed.
Cowboys went all in this year too, yeah?
Yeah, they're as all in as Harlan's team was last year. So hopefully to a little bit better results, but we shall see. I'm like used to taking it as a Cowboy fan. Like, it doesn't bother me at all. Like I know we suck. I have no delusions about being a Cowboys fan. They stopped winning like as soon as I was born, so there seemed to be some sort of curse.
I'm sure you've seen the graphic floating around of
it's been like 10,000 days and it's been 0 days for all the other teams. We've all seen that. But no, back to things I actually am excited for. Definitely the rookie draft this year, having a multitude of picks got me excited. Looking for those second round sleepers with all those picks. I think that this draft is a wide receiver rich and quarterback rich drafts, so I think that those picks are going to have some real good values there if we can nab the right players. So that's sort of what I'm excited about this year. Obviously, I had the second round pick stocked up from my team, but I had to trade a couple of players to get back into the first round. So I don't know if it makes sense to go there with sort of the trades that I've been making so far, but
we can take a peek. I don't even think I have that on my.
Yeah, we haven't done any of those for anyone else, but I think it might make sense since
I think
it's all I've done. It's not like I have much else to talk about.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These are your first league actions, so I think it makes sense.
Yeah, let's go take a peek.
My first trade.
Yeah.
The first one that I made was Jared Goff for a 10th round pick. Ryan came to me and was basically like, I need a quarterback. And I said, great, I've got a lot of them. And he wanted either Goff or Murray because he didn't think that he would be in the market for Allen, which I was basically like, sure, 10th pick, Jared Goff sounds great to me. So that one was probably the easiest trade I've made. I think we were both pretty happy with it at the time. It looks a little bit worse for me if we do end up moving to Superflex for sure, because Jared Goff certainly just signed a massive contract and seems to be the quarterback there for the long term. So
wait, that was
definitely good.
I think you'll be okay, Wesley.
Yeah,
I think you'll be okay.
Look, Jared Goff is a great fantasy asset. He puts up a lot of points. Like, he may not be, a superstar in the league, but he's a great long-term quarterback.
He's a good fantasy asset. I won't say great.
He's not worth 4 firsts, that's for sure.
Certainly not worth 4 first, but I was happy with the first for him, and hope he works out for Ryan.
So hold on, I just want to make a note here. Ryan has now traded for a quarterback with a first-round pick in 3 out of 3 seasons. He traded a first-round pick for Tom Brady, 42-year-old Tom Brady. He traded a first-round pick for Daniel Jones. He traded a first-round pick for Jared Goff. So maybe 3 out of the 4 seasons. That is wild.
He's just stocking up for Superflex. He saw the writing on the wall that we were moving to Superflex
he doesn't even...
was like, I'm just going to start stocking up now for the future.
Yeah, let me hold on to Tom Brady for Superflex in 6 years.
Hey, you never know when he's going to come back.
I think he dropped Daniel Jones too. He dropped him.
Oh, yeah, you're right. He did.
That's
Daniel Jones is droppable. I mean, let's be honest.
Okay, so that was your first trade.
That was the first trade
for Jared Goff.
Yeah,
was this your second
easy.
one I have pulled up?
Yeah, so this is definitely the second one here. This was the blockbuster one. I think this sent a couple of shockwaves through the league. I have been talking with a lot of people about trading either Josh Allen or Amon-Ra St. Brown. A lot of people wanted both. A lot of people wanted one. A lot of people wanted both of them for like a late first. That was an example of a trade that I got. And you know who you are. No. I actually don't recall.
I just have an early first. That's right.
Yeah. I think the late first might have just been for Amon-Ra, not both of them. But there was a lot of sketchy trades that were sent to me early on. So I did have to decline a fair amount of those Josh Allen and Amon-Ra picks early on. But I did sort of look at this as okay, if I'm going to tank, the first thing I need to do is sell any assets of mine that are at the peak of their value. So that would definitely, basically the only sort of parts on my team there at the peak of their value are Allen and St. Brown. If one of them snaps their leg in preseason, it really is going to be bad for me. There's pretty much nowhere to go but up but down for them. So there's no more ceiling for either of those players. So those were the first 2 that I really wanted to sell. Josh Rich obviously had a multitude of assets to give here. So I was basically just I said, give me all your draft picks, give me any good players that you have that are, that you're either going to drop or won't see your roster with this trade. So definitely Zay Flowers is obviously the biggest player here that I was looking forward to. Love the, punt on Quentin Johnston. Maybe he ends up becoming something, probably not.
Wide receiver 1
Wide
now,
receiver number
apparently.
1, right? Yeah, we'll see. If that ends up panning out, never know. Keaton Mitchell, obviously, it's good to have Baltimore running backs because you never know when they're going to start producing. Elijah Moore randomly ended up back on my team. Jahan Dotson, again, these are just like wild shots at the dartboard. Maybe they end up becoming something. Maybe I can flip them. And then Trevor Lawrence, who obviously is a pretty good quarterback. I think moving to Superflex, that does look like it's got a little bit more value coming back to me. So pretty excited about Trevor Lawrence's future, especially with all the weapons that he got this offseason. So
yeah,
it was a pretty big haul. It was definitely hard saying goodbye to those guys. Obviously, everyone else that I gave up aside from Allen and St. Brown, I guess you could say that maybe Dalton Schultz has a little bit of something, but. Not like nothing else that was crazy of value aside from those 2 players.
MVS has brick hands, that's for sure.
Yeah, I thought I had a shot at getting Josh Allen since I had your first rounder, but that trade went through. I wanted to wait until after the draft, but you obviously were wanting to make magic happen, and
Logan,
that trade went through. Like, dang,
yeah, kind of.
I missed my shot.
I wasn't sure if it was just me.
Yeah. Well, we'll let Logan. IT his own work setup. Oh, he's back.
His own work setup.
Maybe not.
Oh, he's back.
I think I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah, so Logan wanted to wait.
I gotta switch headphones though.
Okay. This is fun. Is this getting cut out or is this on the podcast?
It's on there. Next time I will send him a reminder text, though. Charge your headphones.
Yeah, that's really, this is on you for not reminding me.
Oh, this is great. We're just going through all the tech troubleshooting.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Well, I did want to read out the trade for those listening and not able to watch. So Wes, when he adopted the team, we saw what he had, what he didn't have, which was a lot. He sent Amon-Ra St. Brown, Josh Allen, Dalton Schultz. Those are probably the big three. And then MVS, Josh Reynolds, Tyler Lockett, OBJ. That's what he sent. So all players. And he received, in return, Trevor Lawrence, Elijah Moore, Jahan Dotson, Keaton Mitchell, Quentin Johnston, Zay Flowers, a 24 first, 25 first, 26 first, and a 25 second. So a multitude of young players with upside and picks, which can be good or bad, depends on how they turn out. But definitely a haul. Applaud the trade.
Definitely a big one. I know that those draft picks are unlikely to be high draft picks. You never know with injuries and whatnot, but I know that they're unlikely to be high draft picks, but it's always good to just have more bites at the apple to get those next guys that are coming in. I will say Logan definitely, he was just like, oh, well, let's wait. And I was like, I don't know. The longer I hold on to these, the more you risk, off-season trades, the Bills draft another quarterback, the wide receivers bring in another big wide receiver. The longer you wait, the less value these guys may have. So wanted to sell the guys that were at the peak of their value, and Josh was willing to play ball at the time. So ended up pulling the trigger there.
It's fair enough. I mean, that was the risk I took. I wanted to wait till after the draft, so it happens. But you got good value. You didn't want the ability to control your own destiny for the number 1 overall pick the next year, and I guess that was your decision. So. But I like what you got for him. You got a lot of young guys, and I hope you tank really well this coming season.
Yeah, I realized that might have been my biggest mistake so far. It was that not trading for my 2025 first before fully deciding to tank was probably my biggest downfall thus far. But we'll see how it plays out. Yeah. Maybe I end up getting that pick. Maybe I don't. We'll see if Logan's in a push and needs Keaton Mitchell in midseason, and then we'll talk ball. Yeah,
I'm still willing to play ball. I'm in a win now mode. So when you're in win now mode, your draft picks are fluid. So
we'll see. Ooh. I like where this is going.
We shall see. Logan keeps talking about this massive 3-way trade on every podcast, so I just keep waiting to see if anyone bites at that, but I haven't seen any offers roll in.
Wait. Yeah, Justin, you've got an early round draft pick, right?
Yeah, I got 103.
So we could try to do something where Wesley gets his 1, I get your 3, and Wesley gets some players.
So what do I get?
No. He gets like my draft. He gets some draft picks.
Sorry,
you get nothing, Justin. Would you like to make that offer?
Yeah.
I mean, I can lock it in now if I can get some players with it.
Sorry, yeah. So like you'd get draft picks from Wesley. I would get the 103. Wesley would get his, something like that. That's the maybe some players. We have to workshop it, but
what if I get 102, he gets 103, and you get whatever's left?
Who's gonna get? Where are you getting 102 from?
You're gonna trade it to Wesley for a bag of chips.
I don't have 102.
Who has 102?
I have the 2025. I have Wesley's
Ryan
first.
has the 102,
right? That's right.
In the following draft. I'm trying to get into this draft.
Yeah, I don't want to get in the 25 draft. I'm already in the 25 draft.
You're not understanding, Justin.
I'm not sending you my 103. I think that's what I'm trying to make clear.
That's fine.
Yeah. I mean, if it's a ransom, but actually, no. I'm fine. I'm staying pat. You hear that, everyone? I'm staying pat.
Nah, that's not true. He's definitely going to end up trading that somehow.
I'll trade my 25. I'm not going to trade my 24.
Yeah, the 20 draft's not looking too hot, so I'd trade all my 25 picks to get back into this year anyway, which is why at the end of the day, I'm not too bummed if I don't have my 2025 pick. It's whatever.
Yeah, but the number 1 is usually always a hit, so.
Yeah, what's it going to be?
Is just awful.
Like Archie Manning?
I think no.
Quinn Ewers.
Quinn Ewers for sure. I'm definitely drafting Quinn Ewers.
I forgot you're a UT guy too.
Yeah, absolutely. Over Shador Sanders.
Oh, jeez. I don't think Shadur's going to be an
That's
NFL.
true.
talent.
No, I don't
The
think so
number-
either. And I don't think Quinn's going to be very good either. I would not be surprised if Manning takes over for him this year. But
The number one's going to look different if we pass this Superflex vote, even in 2025, because it'll only be a couple years out from the switch.
very true. Very true. But I think that probably moves into my next trade. So my next trade, I traded Zay Flowers straight up for Jordan Addison, and I did this the day that Kirk Cousins signed in Atlanta and was no longer with the Minnesota Vikings, which was a very puzzling move to Zach. After he accepted, he was like, "Why'd you do that?" So I figured I'd give me a good chance to explain myself here. Obviously, I'm not in a win now mode, so the fact that the Minnesota Vikings at the time had Sam Darnold lined up as their starting quarterback didn't really bother me. I just assumed that in a Vikings in a win now mode are going to take care of their quarterback situation eventually. Jordan Addison and Zay Flowers obviously both had great rookie seasons. They both showed out. Obviously, they both were filling in for injuries, Jefferson with Addison and Mark Andrews with Zay Flowers. But ultimately, the Ravens are going to have a somewhat low ceiling for a number one overall wide receiver, whereas the Vikings in the pass-first offense look to have quite a high ceiling even for a number two receiver. And also, Jordan Addison is a year and a half younger than Zay Flowers. So at the end of the day, I was happy with getting someone a little bit younger who also showed a lot of bright spark and potential than someone who might just be captain and run first offense.
Yeah, it's a interesting trade. I don't know. It's one of those things that, like, you can have a gut feeling on it, but we're only going to see how it plays out as time continues on. I like Zay Flowers more, but I also understand the logic you're throwing forward. So it kind of all depends on, at least I guess in the short term, it depends on, J.J. McCarthy, but you don't necessarily need that in the short term. So it's more Jordan's long-term career is what matters for you. And he was good. So you got a good guy possibly for a long career.
He showed out even when Justin Jefferson was in there when him and Kirk both played. So, I think he's got some great upside. And if JJ pans out, great. If JJ doesn't pan out, they'll have another top draft pick to draft another good quarterback shortly. So
True.
I'm hoping that by the time I'm competing, maybe even, Jefferson's moved on. The Vikings have another stud quarterback. Maybe Addison's decided to move on, but a lot of promise there. So I believe I also made a trade with Christian. He really wanted Wan'Dale Robinson, so I traded Wan'Dale Robinson for like a second round pick next year. Maybe I traded Elijah Mitchell because he has Christian McCaffrey, so I traded him his handcuff along with Wan'Dale Robinson for a second round pick next year.
I see.
And I had frankly never heard of Wan'Dale Robinson before joining the league. Again, I do redrafts, so Wan'Dale Robinson ain't touching anywhere that's on my radar in redrafts. So I was like, sure, that works for me. So I think those are the trades that I've made.
Yeah,
You got a lot of draft picks in 2024.
I do.
sure do.
Yeah. I
1,
also don't
2,
have a lot of
3,
roster
4,
space.
5, 6, 7,
Hey.
8 picks with at least 2 empty spots, and let's be honest, there's some drops in here.
There's some.
Blacks here.
Hey, you never know when
Hunter
his name's
Henry
Raheem.
strikes again.
Okay.
Hayden Hurst, yeah. So I think you
There's
got
some droppable players.
probably 1 or 2 more that you need to shed, either picks or players, before you're at capacity. But hey,
Yeah.
maybe some of them start on IR. That's unfortunate, but it tends to happen sometimes.
Maybe we
Training
make some
camp
trade
injuries.
ups. Maybe we make some trade backs in the next year. So we'll see. Again, I'm not in a win now mode, so those picks are gravy. Always happy to do some wheeling and dealing. Anyone out there that wants to trade up in this draft or back into next year's, my door is always open.
We'll be talking. I got roster space. I want some youth, so I'm gonna try to get some pick from you.
Yeah. That's good. I think my other strategy was there are some guys on my team, namely Kyler Murray and Najee Harris, that I think are good players, but obviously didn't have the best years last year for various reasons. Obviously, injury with Kyler, Najee with just having the worst offensive coordinator in the history of the league, along with just also having one of the worst quarterback play in the history of the league. So those are guys that I was more on the lines of I don't necessarily want to trade now. I'm happy going into the season with them. Hopefully they, start balling out this year, and then they are, potential trade targets or, potential future plans if the right trade doesn't come in. So that was sort of my trade strategy coming in. Didn't want to just strip the team for all of its parts coming in. Wanted to make sure that I'm maximizing value for all of my players. Darren Waller, same thing. Not going to get much value for Waller, but when those alimony checks start cashing, he's going to have to start balling out again. So that's my hot take.
I see. So I do want to flip over here. This is not a source that we necessarily trust, but it's always fun because people tend to reference it when it comes to team and player evaluation. So what I have on the screen now is your value according to Keep Trade Cut with players only. So Turd Sandwich is your name. Down here at number 10. Looks like your QB game is still ranked pretty highly even after trading away Josh Allen. Kyler Murray,
Heck
Trevor
yeah.
Lawrence. That helps.
Great.
Especially if we flip to super flex. However, currently we are still being valued as one QB. If we flip it over,
those QB rankings are whack. I don't appreciate it.
yeah.
I'm honestly shocked I'm not 12th. I'm really shocked that somehow my players are the 10th best instead of just the 12th best in every category.
Yeah, well, this is what Keep Trade Cut thinks. So if we flip it over to picks, looks like you have some upside. If you hit on some of these picks and, give it some time, probably, Keep Trade Cut does love youth, all right? So they are the fountain of youth over here. It boosts you up to 4, and mainly because of your picks. Still ranked at number 1, despite not having any early picks. But when you have 8 of them, it tends to help.
It's one of those, you just got to hit a couple, and then they have great value. So we shall see how that ends up coming out. So I'm super excited about the draft. Just consumed so much draft content this year, online Dynasty videos and whatnot. So been reading up, trying to hit those picks. We'll see how it goes.
It's like a whole new round for the YouTube algorithm. It's great. Like when I don't know what to watch, let's pick up some Dynasty videos.
Yeah, it's gotten me into all sorts of wormholes now. My YouTube algorithm is all sorts of messed up. But
speaking of YouTube, if you guys are listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you can find us on YouTube too.
Yeah, rewatch this on YouTube after you're done.
Well,
don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button.
Yeah, all the things. You guys are great. I'm going to stop my share because I think the rest of this we're going to spin off into some hot takes, both for your fantasy team, if there are any, or just fantasy in general, and then maybe something for NFL. You said you're a Cowboys fan. Hot take would be winning more than 8 games, but I'll let you decide.
They win 12 games every season.
It's not a hot take,
yeah,
Justin.
they're not a bad regular season team. They're going to be fine.
Okay.
Hot takes for my team. I don't really have any hot takes for my team because my team's trash.
Well, you had some hot takes about I already forgot. I can't remember anything. Giants tight end.
Oh yeah, Darren Waller. Darren Waller's going to ball out. Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
Okay,
Darren
but I want numbers.
Yeah. Okay. Darren Waller is going to be a top 10 tight end.
No, there's
year.
only like 10 tight ends that are startable.
Is there really only like 10 times in? Oh, gosh, okay. All right.
Let me tell.
Like tight end 11 is Hunter Henry probably. Come on.
I'll look it. I'll look up the.
You're saying he's going to be better than Hunter
tight
Henry?
end 11 for the last 10 years.
2023 stats, tight end, leader.
It just shows you how I think of my team, where I'm like, maybe tight end 10 is like a optimistic take.
Tight end 10 was Taysom Hill last year. Dalton Schultz was tight end 11. Although Trey McBride was tight end 9, and he was pretty good.
He didn't start balling out till halfway through.
That's true. Jake Ferguson was 8. Cole Kmet was 7. Njoku was 6. George Kittle was 5. So, given those numbers, do you want to reassess your hot take on Darren Waller?
Yeah, he's going to be a top 15 tight end, not a top 2 tight end.
Let's move on. How about Kyler Murray? Did you have any?
Yeah, I was gonna
takes
say
for
maybe
Kyler?
maybe Kyler is my savior more than that. Can I get a top 10, top 8? I'm a be bold, top 8 quarterback. Yeah, I'm so low in my face, but I know my team sucks. I'm a realist. I'm not.
These
I'm
are
not just
mild.
a
Okay.
stupid optimist. Yeah, it's a. But my real hot take is just that Arch Manning's gonna take over for Quinn Ewers this season. That's my that's my hot take. Cowboys are gonna win 12 games and get bounced by. Okay, who are they gonna get bounced by? They're gonna get bounced by.
Green Bay.
Oh God, please not again.
No. Stop it, Justin.
Green Bay.
They're no. It's not Green Bay. It's gonna be someone from the NFC West. They're gonna get bounced by Seattle, just randomly this year. Seattle's gonna be like a 9-7 team, and they're gonna get bounced by them.
It's
We
gonna
don't
be
we don't get bounced by Seattle.
Sam
We got bounced
Howell
by
is
Green
gonna.
Bay. We got bounced by Jordan Love.
Yeah, but that we get bounced by Green Bay. Like it's like the third time. The Green Bay and San Francisco. That's who we lose to.
The bogey teams.
Yeah, we don't lose. Seattle's one of those teams that we're gonna beat them. Like you play the Lions, we're gonna beat them.
Yeah. Okay, how about this hot take? The Stars and Mavs are gonna win their championships. I don't watch any basketball or hockey, but I'm just gonna go out and say it.
I love it. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna check the
I'll
Stars.
start watching if they make the finals. How about that?
I'm gonna go to a finals game if they go to the finals.
Really?
I went to a World Series game last year for the Rangers. I went to game 1. Seager hit his home run right next, like a few rows over from us. So that was pretty awesome.
Was that the one where Adalis hit the tying?
Yeah,
run?
he hit the walk off.
Yeah.
Seager hit the
that's
tying home run in the 9th inning, and then Adalis hit the walk off in extra innings into our section too.
Yeah, I was at that too, and Adolis' home run hit near Iowa. That game was probably one of the most incredible sporting events I'll ever go to in my life.
Surprised I didn't see you there.
Yeah, what a shocker.
Yeah. Things you don't hear Cowboys fans say. That game was amazing.
Stars are tied 2-2. They're going into overtime.
Hey, they have a lot of amazing regular season games. It's good to load up for Cowboys for fantasy because they're always going to produce in the regular season for fantasy. But it's a reason that we don't go into the playoffs with Dynasty in fantasy.
That's true.
That's why it's fine to own Cowboys.
To wrap up the football talk, you are coming to the retreat, right? Dynasty retreat
I
in
am.
July.
Yeah, I already got my time off. Told my wife, so it'll be probably the first time I'm gonna be without her and the baby. So
Nice.
she'll be fine. She's a great mom.
Still,
So.
I haven't broke that. The plan is to leave on Thursday yet. Like, Savannah will be about 35 weeks pregnant at that time, so I got to figure out how the best way to break it. Like, hey, what if we leave on Thursday and I leave you 35 weeks pregnant with a toddler? So we'll see how that goes.
Oh, Logan,
Good
I'm
luck
staying
with
at your
that.
house. Did I tell you that?
Can you record that like as you go talk to her? Because I'd love to hear that. Love to hear how that goes for you.
Yeah, no, we're gonna keep that one. We're gonna keep that one under wraps. I'll just give you the post-op.
Okay.
She storms in the background.
Yeah,
What?
you can. Well, you probably can stay at our house. I'm assuming we'll still have a bed in there at that point. There is potential it'll be a nursery, but we'll at least have a couch.
I can sleep in the crib.
You have to use a passy though.
Zach's a backup. I can always sleep at Zach's house. Anyway,
I would offer my house, but my spare bedroom just got turned into a nursery as well, so I have nowhere to sleep either. If I get kicked out of my bedroom, which happens often.
Got a nice big couch. That's all I need sometimes. Anyway, well, that's good news. I'm glad you're going to be able to make it. I think we're up to 6, and
I think 7.
I think we
I think we're
might
at 7.
We might have a 7th. I think there's maybe 7, maybe 8. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Anyway, I got some high hopes for this year's Dynasty Retreat. Not that years prior haven't been anything short of spectacular, but this year, biggest attendance ever.
We're gonna record a live podcast.
We are. I'll bring the goods.
All right, that's something to look forward to. That's a tease.
We'll have a new segment. We'll have to come up with a name for that new segment, but it'll be great.
Yeah, we should just live record on Twitch every time so that we can have segment screens. Really make this into a talk show.
Yeah, I mean.
Do you love all the work that Logan creates for you, Justin, on these podcasts?
Yeah, for once, I feel like I'm more technically involved than Logan, like from a technology standpoint.
I told you that's the only way I would be able to do this is you'd have to I can get on and talk and help, but
it's funny.
You're
someone in our league, I was chatting them up, and they were like, "Tell Logan to release the new podcast episode." I'm like, that's me that you're waiting on. Thanks for the reminder.
I'm getting the blame, you know. None of the glory, all the blame. You know, I'm
Wait,
such
so-
a victim, you know.
What do you actually do here, Logan?
I talk.
He does the intro.
I do the intro.
okay.
Yeah.
I put
Justin
the
did the in-
music over it so it doesn't sound that bad.
Justin did
that's
the
good.
intro week 1, and it was like, okay, I need to do the intro.
He's also gonna start doing episode names. So Logan, if you can send that over before tomorrow, that'd be great.
Okay, sounds good. I can handle that work.
I mean, this one's just interview with the turd sandwich, right?
We got to make it clickable, you know. People don't like to click on turd sandwiches.
Oh man.
Usually, I don't know
Bummer.
what you're into, but the algorithm.
Speak for
won't.
yourself, brother.
All right. Well, Logan, anything else?
Make sure to click that bell and hit subscribe and follow us on social media. We don't have any social media to follow. I guess YouTube's technically social media.
Hey,
for
Justin,
me.
can you start running a Twitter account too?
Dude,
Actually,
let's just set up an AI bot that tweets for us.
yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
I'll have Logan get on that. You can do it with
Nice.
AI, right?
I mean, I take our stats from Sleeper every week. I run it through ChatGPT, and then it creates a Twitter post for it, and boom, you have an automated Twitter bot.
Oh, I do remember there was something fun. I'll have to show it for next episode. But anyway, I think that's all I had. But Wes, it was a pleasure to get to know you a little bit better. I'm excited to see you in July for the retreat, and I'm excited for all the trades that we're going to make over the years that I need to win. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, you want everyone to click like and accept on the video. I want you to click accept on the Sleeper app on our trade. Just hit it.
Wait,
Let it go
Can you-
through.
can you preview what that trade is?
You do it live on the podcast. The first
It
trade
involves
live
a
on the
first round pick.
podcast.
His or yours?
Mine.
Your 3?
No,
I said a first round pick.
Okay, so now you're 3.
just
Okay,
saying.
hold on
You
to
can
that
make
one
history,
for a 3-way
podcast
trade.
history.
Yeah, it's fine.
Who are you?
I thought
wait,
maybe
who's
the
it
peer
for?
pressure of the podcast would get to
Who's
it,
it
but
for?
it hasn't.
Thanks
It's,
for listening, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for having me on, guys. It was really a pleasure getting to know
Yeah.
you, and I'm really looking forward to the retreat and getting to see everyone and getting to know everyone a little bit more.
Absolutely. Thanks for being on, and thanks for joining the league. I'm excited for the future.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Until next time.
See y'all.
Later.